I haven't really done any wild body kits on this channel yet, so I figured this would be the ideal opportunity. I took out the Porsche 911-993 GT2 from Tamiya. This is a race car version of this one. You can also use the street version. It's basically the same kit with a couple of extra parts and slick tires instead of profile tires. It's a really simple but yet nice kit. It doesn't really have too much engine detail, but enough to show from the underside, and that's pretty much all I need for this build. Just going through the box, showing some of the parts, and then we'll move on to the wide body kit from C1 models. C1 models came out with this kit a couple of years ago. Back then it was a really intricate version with a lot of extra details and extra parts. It had some more wheel sets, a couple of seats, some engine components, and I think it had a bigger photo etch sheet as well. And then a couple of months ago they came out with this basic version. It just has the body, some spoiler components, and some small photo etch parts, and then some RWB decals. On the body it has a molded in line for the canards on the front and on the side, which I don't really like, so I will be filling those in. And also some of the panel lines were not really deep and not really visible anymore, so I will be rescribing and widening those later on a bit as well. And on the bottom it was a bit of a rough finish, as that is probably where the mold was poured in, but nothing serious. It could be sanded off easily, and some of the air bubbles were easily filled in with some super glue or filler, and that's pretty much all the fixing it needed. So I will go around the body a bit more and show some more of the parts that came in the kit, and then I will start with cleaning it up. So let's start cleaning this one up. As mentioned, on the underside there were a couple of rough spots which could easily be sanded off, so that's what we're going to start off with. From the factory, this car has a line on the rear bumper, which I'm not a really big fan of on this wide body, so I filled it in with some super glue and then sanded it smooth. And also, as mentioned, some of the panel lines were a bit gone, so I just went through them with my blade and made them a bit deeper and wider to fix that and make them look proper again. So along with the lines on the rear bumper, the canard lines on the front and side were also filled in and then smooth sanded with some 800 grit along with the rest of the body. Now, the ones wondering what the canards are, they are some aerodynamic improvements, just like a spoiler, but instead of being on the rear, it's mostly on the front of the car and in some cases on the side. So you normally see these RWB cars with some massive, and I mean massive, spoilers on the rear, and I don't really like it that much. It does look good and it does fit the style of the car, but I wanted to go for something different, so I took out a Skill Production Singer style spoiler. This has a small ducktail and it's a lot less aggressive, and I thought it would look good. Now in the end, if I would have to do it over again, which I might do in the future for a new one of these, I will be using a bigger spoiler or a bigger ducktail spoiler, as I do kind of think it actually fits better to this style of build than the spoiler that I chose. Now in the meantime, I have been drilling some holes in the side mirrors and putting some pins in those, and now I'm also drilling a hole in the side of the body where this needs to be located. Now as you can see, this is the stock body, and the way I'm doing it is just by putting a piece of tape over it so I know where this hole needs to be located, then drilling the hole through on that piece of tape, and then putting that piece of tape on the RWB body, which I will be using, as that doesn't really show where these mirrors are supposed to be located. So I thought this would be the easiest way to transfer that and make sure the mirrors are in the correct place. With the hole drilled, I could test fit the mirror and correct it to the correct position a bit by just bending it over and making sure it is the way I want it to be, and then do the same thing to the other side.